This question is from Freedom for All. Furufinance, question for you. Is TA needed to be a successful crypto investor? If so, what aspects of TA? And if not, then what is needed to win long-term in crypto? Okay, great question again. And you know, Freedom for All, I always appreciate your questions. So let's get into it. Is TA needed to be a successful crypto investor? I would say absolutely not. In fact, I believe that TA would hurt you as a crypto investor or a stock investor. And why is that? When you look to any trader or technical analyst, it can sound very, very attractive. Why? Because they can work backwards, meaning they can tell you every single pattern that played out, and they say, then this happened, you had a bear flag, and then it broke down, you had a double bottom, and then we had a reversal. Once they get to the current candle, once they get to the current point in the chart, they will always give you the same answer. It's basically, essentially, obviously there are different ways of wording it. If we have confirmation that it goes up, then we're going to be headed higher. But if it breaks down from this pattern, then we are going to be headed lower. So where does that get you? I mean, I don't see. And then by the time it either goes up or down, first of all, you could get shaken out and it could just have a sharp reversal. And also the move already happened. So I don't see how it really makes things clearer. I have here a quote from the great Burton G. Malkiel from the book called A Random Walk Down Wall Street. This is one of the greatest books I've read, and I strongly recommend buying it. I do not own the rights to this book. Although technicians might not get rich following their own advice, their store of words is precious indeed. Consider this advice offered by one technical service. The market's rise after a period of reaccumulation is a bullish sign. Nevertheless, fulcrum characteristics are not yet clearly present, and a resistant area exists 40 points higher in the Dow. So it is clearly premature to say the next leg of the bull market is up. If in the coming weeks a test of the lows holds and the market breaks out of its flag, a further rise would be indicated. Should the lows be violated, a continuation of the intermediate term downtrend is called for. In view of the current situation, it is a distinct possibility that traders will sit in the wings awaiting a clearer delineation of the trend, and the market will move in a narrow trading range. Then he comments on that. If you ask me exactly what all this means, I'm afraid I cannot tell you, but I think the technician probably had the following in mind. If the market does not go up or go down, it will remain unchanged. Even the weather forecaster can do better than that. That sounds all too familiar in my experience following technical analysis. It sounds amazing working your way back because things have already played out, meaning they'll show you a bear flag and they'd say, and then the price dump. But at the time watching it currently, you could have called a double bottom, and then traded it accordingly, and obviously kept on going sideways and it played out. Or then maybe it could have formed a head and shoulders. You just don't know until the price goes one way or the other, and by that time you're too late. Also, there are just so many things in the charts that you cannot see. Like, you cannot see game theory. You cannot see the founder. You can't see the VC distribution. These things affect the price of crypto. And when you're looking at a stock, right, you're looking at the charts. The charts can't predict earnings, can't predict interest rates, it can't predict inflation. There's no patterns to predict the current political environment. I mean, none of these things are projected onto the charts. When you're in a time of great uncertainty, let's say the market has gone down like crazy or it's gone up like crazy. I mean, people want answers. They want to get this feeling like they're in control, like they know what's going to happen. I think that's what really gives such clout for technical analysis. But they could kind of sort of make sense of the situation and then feel like you can know where the market is going. But there's no way of timing the market. There's no way of knowing where it's going. So I'm saying, if you do research into who the founder is, and you do research into the staking that the project has to offer, you look into the product market fit, you look into the token distribution. In stocks, you look into the earnings, you look into the Federal Reserve policy, things like that. These things will give you tangible answers. One cryptocurrency versus the other, I mean, if you just strictly look at the charts, I don't see how that could get you anywhere. I think that's very silly. That's why I keep on repeating that good projects generally do well over time. And you can do tons of research and find out what a good project is. But if you just simply look at the charts, it won't tell you anything. It won't tell you anything. Technical analysts, they like to tell you that it could either go one way or the other, and then they could always say they came out on top. It's kind of like a win-win. But generally, when people try to predict the markets based on technical analysis, sooner or later they get humbled, and it's better better to get humbled sooner than later so you can learn your lesson. But anybody that really follows a technician over time generally ends up being disappointed. That's what I'd say about that. So yeah, also you can't factor in diminishing returns. You can't factor in how long a project's been around. Like Bitcoin is just generally not going to get you the returns that a newer project would get you, like Hex. So I think that's another thing about TA. Also, you can't see the technology behind the crypto when you look at technical analysis. Like if you do your research into Bitcoin, you'll know it's slow. You'll know that the transaction fees are costly. You'll know that it has proof of work, which has miners dumping on you. If you look into Hex, you will know that it runs on Ethereum, which is fast. You will know that you get paid on average 38% APY for staking. You know that it has a founder who's been completely benevolent and who's brilliant. So, I mean, if you just look side by side the charts of Hex and Bitcoin, I mean, where would you find those things? You won't. And I think it's very shallow. I think it's something that people don't want to accept, that they're not in control, that they don't know what's going to happen in the short term. So I think they turn to things like technical analysis. So I'd say, to summarize, I'd say not only is technical analysis not needed for cryptocurrency, I think it could actually be harmful. You're probably looking at technical analysis to try and time the market to see when you should get in, when you should get out. And we all know that timing the market is gambling. And we know that these projects that we're into are good. And we believe strongly, not financial advice, obviously, that they are going to get us places. And if we get suckered into timing the market instead of dollar cost averaging, we may or may not come out on top. But I think factoring in emotions, meaning when it goes down, you think it's going to go lower, so you don't buy, and then it goes up and you think it's going to go higher, so you don't sell. I think those things could really hurt you. I think the best way to do it is just to do your research in stocks. You do your research into the company, into the earnings, into its product market fit. And obviously in cryptos, you have to look into the founder, the game theory, and things like that. And I think that would get you a lot further, in my opinion. Obviously not financial advice. So yeah, if I relied strictly on technical analysis, I would continue losing money, and I would be looking at the coins on top of coin market cap to try and become rich. And I think tangible things like the founder, like token distribution, like game theory, like product market fit is why I'm in this ecosystem, and is why I'm betting so heavily on it, and I believe so strongly on it. So that's what I'd say. Thanks for your question, Freedom for All. I always appreciate your questions. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, please hit the like, subscribe, and of course, follow me on Twitter. Thank you.